Hello gentlemen and welcome to some Crusader Kings free. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget 2% of my viewers are from female accounts, which means 1% of my viewers are potentially female. Let's get in here and let's have a look at the some shots of this announcement trailer. It's quite basic, it's just a short animation with an overspeak. I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to go ahead and watch there. It's got some nice artwork to it. The storyline here is there's a new heir who's been born and he's just been assassinated straight away, which is very Crusader Kings culture-wise. So I'm glad that that was the sort of animation they went for. It was either that or eugenics, but sure, assassinating a baby, very good. So go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link down below if you haven't seen it yet. We do have some screenshots. This is one of the main map here, and what I will say positively is I very much like how the bishoprics, towns, and castles appear to be separated. You can see a dotted line around here, separating the areas within a county. See the town here, the castle here, the town here, the bishopric here, and the castle here. And then you see a solid line around it, which also leaves an extra spot here, which leads me to believe that there is a building zone. You can build something there yourself, which will then interact with the map. Like how in, was it Rome 2 Total War? If you upgraded your city, it got bigger. I don't think this has appeared too much in Paradox games. Obviously in EU4, if you develop your settlements, it'll get bigger and what have you. But this here, you can clearly see that there is a thick border with line border separating. If we look over here as well, looks like maybe two clear zones here, bishopric, town, castle. Obviously in CK2 you just have one tile, and in that one tile you'll see a top holding, a castle, and then underneath that you'll have several spots, but those things aren't on the map. This here I'm a huge fan of. We look around over here again, dotted lines separating other things, solid lines separating counties. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. Over here there's lots of empty spots, which is more historical. This land over here wasn't developed so soon. This is 1067 AD. Yeah. So that would be quite undeveloped. Whereas this central region here will be a lot more developed. So I'm a huge fan of that. I'm, however, not so much a huge fan of how mobile-y this looks. This looks like a game that Paradox might try and sell to mobile and tablet viewers, which means it will be a lot more accessible, or dumbed down, I guess is a good word for it. A lot more shallower content, which is a huge shame if so. Obviously, when Imperator released, it was quite bare bones. So I'm worried that this might be the same here, or that it might be launching more for a DLC system, which when we already have a game that already is so flushed out, it'd be a huge shame if it is so bare bones. But no, my more concern here is that it might be aimed more towards a mobile player base, which would alienate the original fans of Paradox titles, the Victoria 2 players, where they like all of their numbers everywhere. Everything is just so well calculated, but then you go to games like Hearts of Iron 4, which is a lot more simple compared to Hearts of Iron 3. Hopefully they're not going to do something like that. Otherwise, it's not bad. I prefer the original flag system to these ones, but they're not terribly bad. But it does look mobile-y, even this as well, compared to the other things. I'm sure there'll be mods to change things like that. Another screenshot we have is here. I'm not entirely sure what this yellow line would be. It might be a diplomatic action, because this looks like it's us. But then this does not look like that's him, because this is your flag. So if this is your flag, and that there, why does this say that this guy here is your brother? I'm a little bit confused trying to read this. Feudal Lord, yes, that's you. Diplomacy screen. So it appears that this is sending something over here, but this is your brother, and he's part of this land here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Maybe these are vassal nations, and you are looking at your vassal, and this is his overall flag because he serves you. His title is that and that. No, it implies that this man is the Lord here, but then why would the arrow be going over here if you are this guy over there? I don't understand. Unless you're sending him over here. Maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe you're sending your guy over here and this is his heir. I'm not too sure what I'm looking at here, but this appears to be the levy. You have this number here, this number here, this number here. So I'm guessing this here is your total levy for your kingdom. It appears to have a sort of health bar, because here you see two shapes. Here you also see two shapes. And on another one you see three shapes. And it looks a lot like the health bar in Assassin's Creed 2. Was it 2 or Brotherhood? One of them. They had these little things. Money, which also shows your income, and prestige and piety. All good things to know. That, I'm going to guess, is prestige overall, although there was a mention that you can use a sort of dynastic prestige for eugenics or something along those lines. Maybe that's this currency here. And then holding. So you hold three things. I guess this castle, that castle. But I do like the faces. That looks like Hide the Pain Harold though, which maybe isn't so good. But these things I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of these portraits. I hope that they age. I hope that's not a 0-year-old child. I hope that's maybe like a 13-year-old. And he looks like he's in his early teens, maybe like 16. Maybe he's like 14 and they're a lot younger. I hope that the portraits age anyway. Not, I can be, what was it, like 49 and I look like I'm 30 and then suddenly I turn 50 and I look 70. That sort of portrait. It's quite old. I would like if they age gradually, and it appears they likely do. Appears he gets on with his brother, and his brother wears a crown. So maybe this is you, and that's the Overlord. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. But I'm sure we'll find out more things at time. Oh, it shows his money and stuff here. Don't say this is the character screen. Are these his traits? If that's compatibility, I'll be happy. Oh, these are actually... This is the character screen. I am so stupid. This is a first look. Marshal, Diplomat. Oh. Oh, no, I'm not so much a fan of that anymore. I hope they can change the color, make it more like the other one. A bit more. Oh, well. Next up here, we have a bit of Ross. Looks like you have a certain amount of control over your land. 100% would be good. I guess as you have rebels coming in, the amount will go down. Development 5. Does that mean you have 5 things? No, because you just have the empty spots. I hope land isn't done by development. I hope it is buildings. I hope they haven't changed that. But it looks like you have a castle which you can add 4 different things to. Oh, this looks like a step back on development. Fort level 2, supply limit, good. Yeah, and then that I guess might be the underholdings where you can develop something house-wise. But if there's only 4 options to develop your castle, that's going to be very limited, because I did notice in this one both the levies are exactly the same. So I hope it's not incredibly dumbed down on the on a development side. I like the little bishopric there. That's nice. Cathedral, chapel, whatever it is. Yeah, definitely lots of room to develop and build up north in Scotland. Yeah, that worries me. It worries me that they've dumbed down the building a lot there. And over here we have a more interactive social screen. Unpleasant company. It was such a pleasant feast, but then he showed up. Can I not have a single evening unsullied by the invasive stench of Mayor Ebon of Montreal-sur-Mer? Worst of all is the nasal grinding of his voice, and he slides up to me, as he slides up to me. Why the sour face, Eustace? So this here is clearly your character, and this here is clearly your character, so that is terrific. Interactive screens with your actual characters inside of them would make the game a lot better. I appreciate that. And you have multiple options of what you can say here. Again, that's great. You have that in CK2, but the way it's put here, I like this a lot. The colors, however, they look... I'm not so much a fan of the colors. I'd prefer them more... This looks like... What does it look like? Like EU3 or something, the blocked colors. The CK2 version I preferred much. I like the Hearts of Iron 4 version as well, where it's a bit dimmed out in the center, but brighter towards the edge. Also, Brittany has been turned grey. That's not good. I don't like that. Holy Roman Empire should always be grey skin, but Brittany, no, bring them back there. They're purple. Which brings us on to the negative news surrounding CK3's announcement. That is the disappointing censorship of the iconic, historically relevant phrase Deus Vult. Progressive ideologues have enforced their personal political beliefs onto the game, and Paradox has so far completely caved in. The journalist behind this news claims the censoring is actually refreshing, and goes on to state they will be writing more about how Paradox will handle political sensitivities in their games, which to me shows that this is likely not where the historical censorship will end with Crusader Kings 3. The censoring mentality has big potential to negatively affect future games and DLC launched by Paradox, and is a start of a slippery slope. Paradox is also legitimizing political use of Deus Vult by these apparent racist, fascist boogeymen who haunt this journalist. CK2 is full of human sacrifice, sexual slavery, genocide, religious laws, deporting Jews, laws that negatively affect women. So who knows what will be deemed problematic and censored next. Let's not forget, Hearts of Iron, there are literal fascists in this game who you can play as. You can play as Hitler, you can play as Himmler. Crusades are a very integral part of the game, and Deus Vult has been there. It is now being removed and censored due to people who are clearly not a part of the game's fan base. I'm sure if you were to ask the game's fan base whether or not they were offended by the term Deus Vult, you might hit 1%, and that would be people voting ironically. So let us not censor a great game, because as I stated before, this is a slippery slope. Who knows what will be censored next, who knows what will be deemed problematic next, and who knows where this will lead in ruining one of the last bastions of historically accurate games. I hope that Paradox goes back on this decision. I hope that they don't give in to the whims of a very vocal minority, and I hope that we can have a good, historically accurate game. Currently, big news worldwide that China has been enforcing censorship on many things, and a lot of communities have come together to fight this censorship. I'm not going to put Paradox's censorship on the same level yet, but it's a trend which is taking over many medias, movies, games. So I hope that the community can put a stop to Paradox's attempts to censorship history. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to support the channel even further, there's a Discord server down below where you can join us in discussion over all things Paradox or any other games which I play on the channel. We host multiple multiplayers quite often throughout the week, so I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching again. Goodbye.